Good morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? It's only 6:01 in the morning, West Coast time for the 28th of June, 2025. There's zombie out here, Weaver, John C. of Roseman, California. Not alive, not awake. Anyway, a lot of political stuff is scaring the crap out of people left and right, and I know I can throw out the usual blame this and blame that, but, can you blame me for that one? Uh, We have a lot of fear. We have a lot of confusion. We have somebody who keeps trying to tell us that they're doing it for safety and security, while our safety and security is being threatened left and right. There is confusion of what directions to do, what decisions to make, but keep this in mind. Whatever decisions we make are going to have consequences, either huge or small, depending on how we're doing this thing and what we're doing. Now, peaceful confrontations and yelling and screaming at those with badges. We're letting them know what's going on. They know what's going on. The problem is they keep making the decision and the choices to do this thing to scare the crap out of everybody because they feel like they got no choice. But they have a choice. They have a choice. They make it every time they put on whatever they're putting on to show that they are an instrument of the state. They're supposed to be showing that they're supporting the Constitution and yet constantly violating our rights anyway. We've already have the judges already in Trump's pocket because he set it up that way. The conservatives, I don't know what their major malfunction is. Do they really, really want our freedoms and our liberties curtailed on a constant basis? Is this what we're turning into? And I think the answer is yes. What scares me, and I've been trying to put that into words on the other smaller vids I've been trying to post, is this situation we have right now is coming into fruition of something totally ugly that we hadn't come across in a hell of a long while. We read about it in papers, we read about it in history books, but seeing it happening in front of our own eyes, and what scares me is there are possible consequences happening that I don't know which way the right way is. Because if I happen to say it, if I happen to say something about it, then we're really going to be in for it. When one tries to follow one's own religious convictions, there is a tug of war of what is right and what, well, is it right or not to want freedom, liberty, and do everything they can to pursue it. Even if it means going against the state that theoretically had sworn to uphold and to protect and serve, to go with the will of the people. Yeah, we don't. And those who probably watch who may have a badge, you're looking at the thing on a constant basis. You're looking at the paycheck, or are you looking at your duty? And who's the duty to? The Constitution? Or to an administration who keeps redefining what your duty is supposed to be and not what you thought it was? You're seeing the consequences. You're seeing the actions happening right now. You're seeing people violated, and yet you would not say anything about it. You simply suit up, show up, and be bullies. Because maybe you were bullies when you joined the force, when you joined the authority, and the will for the will of the people is no longer mattering. It's only the will of the state and whoever pays you. You're trying to ignore the aggravations that you see in front of you that you're doing, your own actions. You're costing people their lives, their freedoms, everything that you swore to protect and serve. You're seeing it destroyed by your own actions. You wanted this. Now you've got it. Now you've got the authoritative. Now you're part of the tyranny. And if you have forgotten your histories, if you've forgotten histories of the world, tyranny is always fought against in one form or another. There's no absolute control. There will not be ever an absolute control. And you're part of the process of hurting people left and right. Women, children, newborns, sick people. A guy with half his lung got picked up by ICE and transported to another country. He was already trying to get himself stabilized, so it would take him a long time. But he got sent overseas to a place where they cannot take care of him as well. So how does that sit on you guys for condemning people to death? There's also been stories about Canadians under the auspices and care of ICE died under their watch. So now we have war crimes, or we have humanitarian crimes happening. We were supposed to be welcoming tourists over here. We were supposed to be doing the Olympics. Guess what? No more Olympics, guys. No more Olympics. No more big games. Unless we're going to have those tourists fearful of the United States that they cannot come, they cannot stay, they cannot indulge. This is going to be one Olympics that the Trump administration has failed, and the world knows it. We will never get a game in here ever again. We will not have the tourism. We will not have the economic boom. We will not have anything of value of the Olympic seasons because we did this to ourselves. And the administration doesn't care about it. They're still trying to get rid of the bad guys. What bad guys? People who have been working their asses off trying to get things going. But they never supply the paperwork saying, these are the list of people we're after here because this is what we discovered. No, they just take people off the streets. Pastors are fighting like crazy. Nonviolence, they're trying to do a Gandhi on them. As in, don't show them violence, but be loud. The thing that scares the hell out of me is somebody's going to be saying, no more. And there will be violence in the street. Only a lot worse than throwing rocks at cars or throwing back gas canisters. They probably thought of the idea of saying, that's crazy. Yeah, well, this shouldn't have happened in the first place. But we have it. We have military and we have law enforcement who are just as confused about their operating orders. For the sanctuary cities and the sanctuary states out there, they're trying to tell their law enforcement officers, do not engage with the federals. Do not support them. Already in the state of California, we have assemblymen, we have state officials trying to take care of actually get rid of the sanctuary status that we placed ourselves under. They are the Trumplicans. They are the Trump followers. It's not protecting our citizens. Once we take ourselves off of it, and if they happen to reverse the rules and the laws, and they have to be signed off by the governor, by the way. Newsom's already filing. Gavin Newsom, California governor here, is filing lawsuits against the state, actually against the feds. Not to mention they're filing lawsuits against the television network kept trying to discredit. Well, if we got the proof, we show it proof. We have the state still trying to confuse and confuddle us and yelling and screaming at us at the podiums. You have to believe. You must believe. We are telling you this is it. You got to listen to our yelling and screaming because we don't know how to get it through you. And you guys are so stupid and going after it, after our state. They're the enemy. The enemy. You have to follow us because we say so. I don't think so. Next week we will be having a theoretical celebration. It's supposed to be America's 249th birthday. Next year it becomes 250th. But because of the unrest and turmoil, there will be parades, but people doing rallies again, saying no more kings and no more of Trump and his maggots that are running and ruining the country. But as I said before, what scares the hell out of me is there's going to be an action taken that I hope that God doesn't, but it is going to be happening. Because there always is. Somebody's going to be finding an option, an opportunity, and doing something heinous. It's not just breaking into stores and looting. That's not it. What I'm always afraid of when we have a situation like this is somebody is going to be taking action of sorts. I don't know who, I don't know what, I don't know where, I know why though. The pressure cooker that's on our country right now that we've got installed. We can't sit by as Americans. We have to act. A lot of people understand that they have to put the pressure on Congress. Congress is inept anyway. And the judges are lifelong, and they refuse to leave. Especially those who keep telling us that they're going to be following Trump, even those on the Supreme Court. They love their money and their power too much. They don't serve the people, they serve themselves. And so does the politicians. Now we have another long ways to go until elections. Until next year. November comes around. Question is, are we going to be having the elections, the midterms, to make the difference? And if, I'm saying a big if because every time I keep looking at the elections, I'm not quite so sure if we're actually going to get a turnaround at this point. But what if we did get a turnaround? What if we did get a turnaround, at least in the House or in the Senate? If we still have a divided Congress that just won't get things done. We already have a combative. We have a combative. What scares me is what if the executive branch decides that the Constitution is null and void and makes Congress obsolete? We are witnessing something we have never seen in our country before, but it came close to 1860. We had southern states and we had the northern states. Different opinions. One wants to stay in just steady state of as is, despite the fact they had slavery happening at that point. They didn't like progress. And the other side wanting progress and wanting freedom for everybody. It may not be equality, but they wanted freedom. We had to have a bloody major disagreement here. Are we going to be running into that kind of situation here? But a little bit more intense where the military and law enforcement are going to be used against us? I'm not calling for violence as much as part of my nature would be calling for it right now. Part of my heritage would be screaming for it. Proving a point to a tyrant saying, yes, we will. We will say no. There's going to be one lunatic out there or a group, I don't know who, when, what, no information on it. We'll screw this up. And we will show to the tyrant that we installed. There will be bloodshed. And that will give them all the reason to put us into a lockdown, into a martial law. And that's something I'm scared of. Because I would be predicting, much like other people would be, of seeing our towns with armed troops that used to be part of our community, that used to be part of us, that are no longer part of the community, part of us. And we will be living in a state of confusion, worse than anything else. We'll be seeing living history of tyranny. I heard too many talks, I've heard too many discussions, little clips here and there, growing up from those who said that democracy is going to fail. Well, yeah. Because we allowed it to crash and burn. We allowed it to go away on our watch. If the tyrants won't listen to us, if the military and law enforcement won't listen to us, what then? What then? That being said.